Yo, I think we can start actually now. Like, people? Okay. Welcome to the last talk show of the day. It's called Running a BBoyspot. And at first I would like to introduce or to explain the title. Because it's not just about the BBoyspot. It's not just about making up a house where people can train and practice together. The overarching principle is cultural responsibility, right? And we, the three panelists of today, Break Free Community Center, Jeremy, Piecez with his project Unity Charity, and Aruna from Hip Hop House. So just welcome them, please, with an applause. So, nice, thanks. As well, I would like to explain the structure. So at first we're gonna have a sort of interview. I'm gonna ask them, like, we will present a video of each project, and then we will have like a interview of each of the guys regarding the formalities, like when did they set it up, what was the finance and stuff. Afterwards we'll go over to the problem-based discussion. Like, I will ask them about the problems they face regarding running their somehow hip-hop institution. And after that we will go to the Q&A session. So like, basically it takes an hour and then you can ask questions, right? Good. So I think we should start with the introduction, yeah? I will start with your project, so we will see at first the video and then you can talk about it, okay? All right.
Yo, what up? It's Jeremy. Yo, what up? It's Jeremy. Break Free Community Center. Check it out. This is our main room. This is where we hold battles every Wednesday, one-on-one. You can see the logo. Sponsored by Monster Energy. They hook it up. You can see the barrels over here in the fridge. They come by every Wednesday to get free energy drinks to whoever competes, stuff like that. So they've been hooking it up real dope for the Houston scene, you know? So we got our floor here. Like I said, every Wednesday we hook it up with a DJ. A live DJ comes out. We get over 100 people every Wednesday, and it's a dope battle. I was explaining the format. Every month, you can see over here, B-Boy of the Month on the wall. It's a dope throw up by Cease, our graffiti artist. You qualify every week, so the first week's winner of the month, second week, third week, fourth week, they battle in the semi-final format the last month for $100, and they get a picture on the wall for B-Boy of the Month. So it'll be like December, January, February, stuff like that. We still gotta hang up the pictures, but we're gonna get around to it, you know, so it's on the wall. We got all our graffiti over here. Each wall, we get a different artist to come by every month to tag it up, do a piece of the month, you know. We got one right here. Rule number 6, no biting. Inspire. If you want to check it out over here. We got our restrooms, boys, B-girls. The community center rules. Respect the center, respect one another, no smoking, fighting, tagging, biting. These under 12 may be accompanied by adult. Everyone attends must create a screening away before him, pick up your trash, don't be shy and have fun. We got mats over here, practice power, a bunch of dynamic stuff, you know. We got our booth over here, run by Texas Black Sheep. Cease, say what up, Cease.
What's up, man? Cease, representing Texas Black Sheep. Down here in Houston, Texas, we got a store open Monday through Wednesday from 1 o'clock p.m. to about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Come check us out, man. We got everything from spin caps to spray paint, cool gear. We carry biggest and baddest. Of course, our own line, and working on a few other things. So we've only been open for a couple months. So check us out, man. TexasBlackSheep.com or TexasBlackSheepFacebook.com.
Yep, so that's the booth. Sell everything there. We got some more mirrors, more pieces. Another sound system so the sound can get everywhere. We got our tag board for whoever comes to visit the center. It's kind of full right now. We're gonna get another one so whoever comes, they can tag their country, you know, their name and all that. Over here, we got a basketball court. We hold basketball games. We're looking to do tournaments sometime soon. And this is our workout area where me and Moy, for the past couple of months, we've been developing like breaking specific exercises with the resistance band. Like when we have tie something around your belt and pull it to you, and I'm gonna put Eugene through it for a second if he's down to go through it. But yeah, we've been doing some dope stuff, man. It's really cool. We're trying to originate like different exercises to train your body so you can be able to, you know, fly. So this is the court. This is the area where we work out. Another piece by Queen. It's a dope female graffiti artist here in Houston. She has the February month on this wall right here. You can see the Break Free, the Adidas logo, real fresh. The Break Free tree done by Cease. It's a real dope mural. It's got all the elements of hip hop, breaking, graffiti, MCing, all that, man. Real dope. We open up the garage door right here sometimes whenever it gets full. Post stuff in the back, parties, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, that's pretty much it, you know. Thanks to Eugene for coming by. Shout out to Dallas, everyone in Dallas, all the scene. If you're ever down in Houston, please come out. Please come and check out Break Free Community Center. Support, you know what I'm saying? Peace out.
Yo, applause again. So as I said, the structure will be like that at first I will interview Jeremy, and then we'll go on with Aruna and Piecez. Okay, so Jeremy, for how long has it been in existence, the center?
The doors opened in August of 2011, so it's 2 years and counting. Well, 2 years actually this month.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Break Free Community Center. Could you explain the name?
The idea behind Break Free, it dates back to probably about 2007, 2008. For those that don't know, it's also an annual jam that we throw in Houston every October. I think we're on the 4th or 5th edition. It started off as a small jam in a local church by Moy Rivas, the director of the center, who I run it with. And it started off, basically he just started promoting it as an idea to kind of like an abstract way of his idea of breaking and how he looks at it. To break free from your everyday life and to express yourself. Our motto is also create your escape, so that ties in with it. So yeah, I think the first jam was in 2008, and then since he was a kid, he always wanted to open up something. We were inspired by a local organization called Youth Advocates. It's a pretty legendary Houston scene, or Houston practice place. They would hold weekly practices, and they did a lot of social work. And Moy was basically a product of YA. So he was inspired by YA. He went through everything there. He was inspired and taught by that. And then we opened our doors in August of 2011.
Where's the center located? Can you talk about the locality and your target group?
It's located in the southeast side of Houston, and that's where Moy and I both grew up. And we specifically placed it there because it's an area of Houston that doesn't really have anything like it as far as like the arts or educational centers. So it was kind of a personal reason behind placing it there. And like I said, the area doesn't really have much as far as the arts or anything like that. So we specifically placed it there in order to target kids like us that grew up there. You know, fortunately, when I started breaking, I started because of my brother who's been dancing for about 10 years. He's in Havocoro as well.
And his name is?
His name is Palmer, for those who've heard of him. So I was fortunate enough to have somebody, in my family. Otherwise, I probably would have never heard of breaking or hip hop. And our idea behind it is to introduce it and to have something in the area for people who doesn't have a brother, who doesn't have someone in the family that knows about hip hop, and otherwise would never be introduced to hip hop.
Cool. No, really an amazing thing. It's not just no fun or something. Could you tell us what is the program of Break Free comprised of?
Our main programs revolve around our classes that we do. It's a full schedule every week. On Mondays, we do our breaking school, which has been our most premier program. And Tuesdays are our art and multimedia class. Wednesdays, we have a fitness class. Thursdays is a second breaking class, and Fridays a popping class. So most of our work revolves around that and building a consistent curriculum for our classes. But we also do social work. We have a couple of social workers that work with us that actually came from the organization Youth Advocates, the one that I said that are inspired from. So we do some social work, and we do a lot of youth outreach and some counseling and guidance for troubled youth. But the main thing that the program or the center is really comprised of is our classes that we have every week.
Who's the staff? How many people work there?
It's me and Moy, and also a caseworker named Rob, who also handles all the finances. And then we have a partner, Adrian, who basically all four of us really just take on the role of everything: janitors, finance managers, promoters. That's basically the chunk of it. And we do have people, that support and give their time. But the main four are me, Moy, Rob, and Adrian.
So what are you doing there?
Like everything, like I said, janitorial work, promoting. A typical day, we'll get there like at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and we'll start doing work. We'll start preparing for the day, promoting for the classes, and just trying to build, just trying to grow the center and think of everything we can do to try and spread the awareness of us being there, because unfortunately not a lot of people around the area know about it. We do have a dedicated following from around Houston, but surprisingly, we get people that come in every day that live in the local area and say we never knew this place was here. But we have people that travel from an hour every week to come and take the classes and bring their children to come and take it.
You also mentioned counseling. Could you explain that, especially for those who are no natives? I also had to look up the word when I stumbled upon it.
Counseling is basically just guidance for troubled youth. Somebody who might be going through some troubles will come and basically form an apprenticeship with a mentor. And Rob, the man who works with us, he's a certified guidance counselor, and it's basically just to provide a mentor and to provide an outside guidance from somebody other than your family, or if somebody doesn't have a family. Basically a mentor and apprenticeship relationship.
Nice. And what is the tuition fee like? How much do they pay the kids?
It's a membership fee, sort of like a gym membership or a YMCA, another organization in America. It's $60 a month, and you get access to any of the classes you want. So you're at the liberty of taking just the breaking, or if you want to take all the classes. And you also get a discount on the merchandise that we sell, and free entry to any events that we throw, any jams, and actual physical membership card along with it. And we have rates that start, the basic one starts at $60 a month, and then we offer discounted rates for a 3-month, 6-month, and a year membership.
Cool. Thanks at first. As I said, we are not going to talk about the finance, just about the basic structure of the institution you're running, and afterwards we're going to talk about the finance in order to compare it, okay? So thanks again, Jeremy. Now we go over to Piecez, and I will start with the introduction video. Is it okay? Or do you want to talk about it at first? I think it would be better to have the introduction video, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Whatever you.
Everything ready? Everyone ready?
As a young person, I was always an athlete. I was always big on sports. What happened was at the end of the tryout, my stuff got stolen. And having this buildup of not necessarily really knowing how to deal with my emotions, I kicked through a window. I looked down at my foot and I saw a pool of blood. And because the glass that I kicked through, it caught my Achilles tendon. So just like that, in an instant, my whole dream was taken away from me.
Mission. Unity Charity engages and empowers youth to be role models and leaders in their community. I'm the type of person who builds up my stress inside until I can't take it anymore and I'd even get sick. And I was really lucky to have found breakdancing, I say, when I was 13, because I would literally take all the stress and the anger in my life and I would just throw it down on the floor. I would just grab it and just let it out. Engage. Unity engages youth using relevant and accessible art forms, including breakdancing, spoken word poetry, graffiti art, and beatboxing.
I have never in my life seen our youth so engaged.
they were lifted, they were inspired, and I saw the very best in those students. I left inspired. I left very humbled by what I had seen.
Empower. Unity empowers youth to tell their stories, to heal and inspire.
Following year, I went back to the same school with a lot of hatred in my heart for everyone. I walked down the hallway, and I just saw these guys doing some crazy stuff in the hallway. Like they're just doing some things I couldn't really describe. I've never really seen it before. I just walked up to them, with the hate in my heart. Asked them a simple question. I'm like, yo, what are you guys doing? And they turned and looked at me and simply said, we're breakdancing. And they just asked me straight up, do you want to learn? I started to realize that they were the first group of people who accepted me, or was, I guess you could say, nice to me at this school.
School programs. Unity Crew is an intensive after-school program empowering youth to use urban art forms to tell their stories as positive role models in their high schools and elementary schools. Community programs. Unity drop-in programs attract youth to safe practice spaces during evenings and weekends. Unity Festival is a multi-day celebration that gives youth a public stage and platform to perform and tell their stories. Unity leadership groups perform and teach workshops in their communities. Unity University chapters gives youth graduates the opportunity to give back as role models after high school. Unity Artist Training teaches youth graduates to become hired Unity facilitators.
And those same guys are a part of the crew that I rep today, Maximum Efficiency Crew. They're like my extended family. And 12 years later, I'm still with them, still repping. And they always got my back, and I always got theirs. And without that, I don't know where I'd be. Now I'm the program director for Unity Charity. I've been blessed by Michael Prosserman. He's a good friend of mine. And he gave me this opportunity. And I'm trying to make the best of it. For you.
You can make a difference. With your support, we can empower and engage many more young leaders. Join our online community. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. Don't forget to check out our website, www.unitycharity.com.
Okay, thanks a lot. Applause. All right, first thing, you told me that you have some far relatives from Ukraine, but actually your name is Prosserman.
Yeah.
Why don't you speak German?
Putting me on the spot. I actually think I'm Russian, Ukrainian, Polish, Romanian, English.
And they're like German names. Okay, all right.
I'm everything together.
So this was basically actually a huge program. So we have the Hip Hop House and the Breakthrough Community Center. What is your project actually? Can you maybe differentiate it from these projects?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest difference between Unity and, from what I know, I don't know much about what you guys are doing, I'm just learning right now, is more that we're very mobile and we don't have one sort of space. Each one of these programs actually takes place in the schools. So we do after school programs, which I think is like our main sort of deep impact, really connecting kids to hip hop program. It's 18 weeks. So imagine your high school every single Tuesday, top B-boys, spoken word, MC, graffiti, beatbox, they're all going to show up to your school every single week, and it's free. So it's pretty dope. I don't know if any of you guys are here are B-boys or like into hip-hop, but like that's just like the craziest opportunity for kids, especially in the communities that we go to. Just they don't have good community programs. They probably have one art teacher that, if they are good, they're probably burnt out. You know what I mean? Like all the kids are going to them, and that's not even really hip hop. You know, they might teach some architectural design, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but if hip hop speaks to you, if that's like your outlet, then there's nothing for you. So we do about 20 18-week programs in Toronto, in Ontario. For those of you who don't know, Canada's a huge country, and it's terrible. It actually costs more to fly from Toronto to Vancouver than Toronto to here. That's how big it is. So just to give you an idea, we started doing this work in other cities. So we started in Calgary, which is in the middle of Canada, and we went to Halifax, which is on the other side. And now we're starting to plan to go to Vancouver and Montreal and do a little bit more in other cities, which is kind of scary because we don't know this. Like I know through b-boying, like I battle in the cities and like everyone's family. Like if you go from Germany to Russia to, you know, Netherlands, whatever, you know there's b-boys, you know there's family, right? It's the same with the type of work we do. Like I show up there, everyone has their community programs that they do. And when we're in another city, we don't do as intensive work every single week. We train the artists with our models so that they can do it themselves. Because, you know, number one, we don't live there. And it's different in Calgary than it is in Toronto. And number two, they know what's relevant. You know what I mean? Like they know what the kids in their communities need. And who am I to say that, you know, we know any better? But we provide free training. And it's really cool because artists who have been trying to teach for their whole lives now have an opportunity to do it in sort of a social purpose standpoint. We have a tagline similar to Jeremy's, it's slightly different. It's express your stress and develop skills for success. So like get rid of some of the anger that you have so you can focus on what's in front of you. You can focus on your future. You can focus on, you know, just tomorrow and building relationships with like work, family, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a really powerful thing that you'll hear all of our artists, like Andel, he's been in my crew since we started, like since I was 13.
Could you please say like how many people
sorry.
work there? Like you were talking about our project and your colleagues, so how many people work there? Because it's such a huge project.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Like at first it was just me and my crew, like me, Andel, Biggles, and just a bunch of people who were part of like the core 5 people that you guys battle with. And then we started bringing in someone to run our festival, and then we brought in a guy to write grants for us, which is all the stories are funny. They're not like professionals because you have to pay a lot of money for professionals. So they're like, this guy was a history major and he just wrote like a long thesis so he could write really well. And we didn't actually hire him. He was volunteered until he got the first grant. And then we hired him and ourselves. So like the cool thing is like, it's like hip hop, you know, you're starting something out of nothing. So you can't expect to be getting paid immediately from this work. And it only took like 6-7 years almost that we stuck with it till anyone even got a dime from it. You know what I mean?
So when did you start exactly? Because you told me that's like more than 7 years.
In grade 11, so high school. It was like an event. It was just like a project. And then I started b-boying a lot. That's kind of, I call it my prime of b-boying. Now everything's hurting. I have a neck injury and all this silliness. So that was my prime of b-boying, and I was traveling and doing all this stuff. And then I decided that in university, I wanted to do this full time, like be able to do my art at the highest integrity, but also, you know, help people who are dealing with crap in their lives, like when I was young and dealing with stress and had no way to let that out, just giving that to other young people. So yeah, no, it just kind of...
What did you study?
I studied business.
Right.
But I don't know, I'm not a book sort of guy. I'm a doing sort of person, you know, like I learned a lot. I think it sharpened my brain in terms of writing papers and whatnot. But
so tell us about your duties, like about your responsibilities and Unity Charity. What are you doing there, basically?
Same as this guy, everything and then some. I go to sleep to Unity. I wake up to Unity. I have nightmares about Unity.
Wow.
It's pretty trippy.
So what is your daily routine like?
Honestly, it's usually meetings all day, whether it's funders, schools, trustees, principals, spaces, because the different programs have so many different moving parts. And then emails are like ridiculous. It's just always getting like 100 to 150 emails a day and just forwarding them to people who should be doing stuff. And then it's just, I don't know, I'm crazy.
It's actually like you're doing this project so huge and you try to bring hip hop so intensively to Canada. It's like positive, empowering hip hop terrorism. Like it's an aggressive project, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, we're really. I mean, people just get involved in the energy and they want to get involved, and we got like lawyers and accountants and people donating their time for all this stuff. We just applied for this thing where people get free consulting from like...
Okay, that's...
Yeah.
We will talk about it later. Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
But free stuff, which is cool, that usually costs money.
Okay. Thanks, Notorious. Applause also. Okay. Now we will head towards Hip Hop House. And like, I will show the video. The problem is, in comparison to the first videos, it's really amateur stuff because I did it. So please be okay with that.
What's up? This is Willie from Holland, representing Survivor's crew. What you hear now is Hip Hop House. It's a school where all the 4 elements comes together, like MCing, B-boying, DJing, and graffiti. So come enter and then we'll see what happened here. Yo, this is the first dance studio. Here all the classes comes together, like popping, locking, dance hall, all kinds of stuff. Yo, when people enter, they can chill out here, use their laptops or make jokes with friends. Where we are now is the arena. Here also we give classes because we give 2 classes at the same time, and that's why we have this room. But also this room is also for renting. So when companies want to come here and rent a place, they can be here, and this helps us to get money as well. For another, to raise money is this floor. What you see is all the names that all the companies or particulars that gave like €100 to support us so we can keep growing. We collaborate with a school called Willem de Koning, and every 3 months we get a new artwork. Yes, now we're going downstairs where all the beat studio, music studio and DJ studio is. Let's go. Right now we're at the basement of the Hip Hop House, and first we're gonna go into the DJ studio. Yes? Okay, so this is the DJ studio. Here we give classes to students that want to learn the art form of DJing. So yeah, here it is. And if you want to learn from scratch, you can do it a little bit like this and stuff, and backspin and juggling and everything. Okay, yeah, here's the old Hip Hop House. It used to be like a garage. Yeah, it was a very small apartment, and this guy keeps on laughing and he's fucking up my concentration. Now I don't know what to say. But yes, okay, this is the old Hip Hop House. Here it all started. It was like all small garage with one tiny place, but everyone had a good time. And now we are on a bigger place like this, and it feels all the hard work pays off, you know. So yes, here's the music studio. The guys from Act to Act is a Dutch hip hop group that rent this place, and here they make music for the scene. Yes. Upstairs is the offices where all the hard work's paying off. I mean, where all the hard work is going. So in this room, all the board meetings happen. You know, so everything we discuss will happen here, and then we do it for the outside guys. This is now the office. Here all the important stuff happen, and all the people that really work hard happens all here. So this building is very huge, very expensive. So that's why we need renters to pay off the rent of this building. You know? So in this room, in this office, we got 45 Live. They organize IBE. So. And then we got Missing Link. They organize like really hip hop things and like rappers and parties in Europe, one of them, or around Holland. Then we got Rizuk. Rizuk is a designer. He does designer for clothing and flyers and all kinds of stuff. And then we have Piecez van Dragen. She is doing the styling with clothing and all that stuff. So these are the people that rent in the hip house. So this was the tour. You've seen the offices, you've seen the dance rooms, everything else, the DJ studios, the music studios. So now get out. I don't want to see you guys anymore. So peace out, And here's the door. Peace.
Yeah, then I had to call the ambulance. Yeah, applause. All right, hip hop house. Why hip hop house? Why is the name hip hop house?
Well, first we had another name. We said it was called Hip Hop House, the Foundation, because we wanted to start a hip hop center, which was the foundation for a lot of people to hang out, like one of the basics in our life. But people didn't catch that name. Everybody just said Hip Hop House. So we lost the foundation and we just kept saying Hip Hop House. In the end, it's the audience that decides who you're gonna be, so.
It's like in B-Boy, you get your name, usually.
Exactly.
So when did you start the project?
We started in 2001 when we made a plan for the original Hip Hop House. And then we actually we opened our first building in 2002. So that's 11 years ago.
And that house?
Yeah, it was opened 1 year ago.
All right. And how many people are working there? Because it's such a huge house.
Yes, at first, so when we just first started, we started working with 3 people. And when I hear Jeremy talking, it's very similar. It was founded by the scene. So it was me and at the time 2 guys that were really close friends. We were close friends and we were dancing together. Lloyd.
Which kind of dance?
Well, Lloyd Marengo, he's a popper and a choreographer. And Benny Samil, he's a b-boy, and me, we started together. And because we danced a lot together, but we also had a mutual understanding of what hip-hop was. So that's why we figured we should start the Hip Hop House together. Because we were really good friends, not because we were complementary in skills or had a business degree, but just because we like to spend a lot of time together. So that's how we started. And also because in that time, the city of Rotterdam was very much focused on art. It became apparent in our city that there weren't very much facilities for young people. So we took our chances when when the city was open to it.
Okay. What is the program comprised of?
Well, when we started, it was very much like Willie just saying, graffiti, b-boying, DJing, and MCing. But at the moment, we opened our perspective on what we have in our program. So we do dance hall. Now at the moment we do whacking, locking, popping, experimental, beat making, DJing still. So we've expanded on what we offer. And it's very much based on not what we think. Like before when we started, it was very much about what the 3 founders had in mind. What we liked is what happened. And now at the moment, we very much look at what the audience wants. Like what does our crowd need? And what is their demand? And that's what we offer. So we changed our policy much more to, let's say, the market.
And what is your responsibility?
I'm the director. So basically everything from dustbins to dishes to finance to contracts. Everything.
And what's this guy doing?
Willie is a very much a conceptual guy, so he makes a lot of ideas. And at the moment, we're helping him to make his ideas actually become plans and actually become projects. And there's a lot of young b-boys or other people in our community that want to do something for the community, but they don't know how to change from a concept or an idea actually into a project and make it happen. So we took some of them under our wing and showed them how you can get your things happening. So that's what we do with him. And I took a class for a management class for about a year, and I had one advice, and they said, never let go of the clown in your company. So that's why I hold on to Willie so much.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah, applause again.
Thank you.
Okay, right. So the overarching principle of this talk show is cultural responsibility, right? But there are like many ways to give back something to the community. So we have here 3 projects. They all have in common that they try to give back something to the community, but the way they do it, they differ. And I would like now somehow to delineate or to differentiate the purposes. Like, what do you try to do with your institution or with your project? So, because I see difference in between you guys and Aruna. Like, what is your aim actually? Could we start with your project?
Well, you definitely see a lot of similarities, and as I hear both of their stories, there's similarities in everything, and there's a lot of inspiring things that I see in both of them. Like for both of the organizations, I see, because our organization is pretty young compared to theirs. We're only 2 years into it, so I see a lot of things that eventually I would like to reach with the center in them. But as far as the thing that differentiates our goal for them, I would probably say is with Michael's, his is mobile, so he doesn't really have a set place, and with us we have a set place. So our goal is to provide a go-to place, a haven for people that like I said before, that don't have a place to go or wouldn't have any other hip hop place to go to besides that. And that's similar with Aruna's and I's, but a difference between ours, I think it's pretty similar with ours. I don't really see any differences between hip hop house and ours. They offer more programming than us, more classes. We just have the main 4. We don't do anything like whacking or beat making or anything like that. But who knows? Maybe in the future, like I said, we might add more curriculum to it like that.
Actually, I meant just the difference and the aim somehow, like, because both of you were talking about empowering, and you also said that Moy was into social work and stuff like that. So that's what I actually meant.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, because there is somehow like the trust of what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Like the line differs to what Aruna is doing. So because like he was also talking about empowering. The way we saw the video of Piecez was like really was catered to disenfranchised kids, maybe, like to give back something, as well as you were talking that where it is located. Yeah. So
but I think our programs are similar. Mm-hmm. I just think our starting point and our direction is different. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Our mission is to have hip hop respected as an art form. We don't have any social missions. What I meant. Yeah. What we actually say is that everything that we change socially in our students or in our teachers or in anybody that we work with is just a benefit. It's a plus, but we don't focus on that. That's also how we're structured in our organization. We don't wanna have people feel sorry for us as a hip hop community. We want to show that hip hop deserves a place in art, just as ballet does or any type of art, music or dance. So that's why when we started, we were very allergic to words like empowerment or...
Could you explain that? Because like you did it in Holland, so now we will come somehow to the financing part. So could you explain why you were somehow allergic to this social aspect of it?
Well, the thing is, we wanted to have a position in the art world in the Netherlands, and the people that decide here at the moment, they don't understand hip hop. They don't really understand the good hip hop from bad. If they hear rap music, they hear a good rap or a bad one, they don't hear the difference. If they see breaking, they don't see a good b-boy from a bad one, so they cannot decide what's good. So for us, it's really difficult to get acknowledgement for our art form, because the people who are deciding, they don't know what's good or not. And that's what our goal was, to get a position and not for them to think, oh, it's so nice what all these brown and black kids do. Well, let's give them a chance. No, we didn't want to take that direction. We just wanted them to allow us into the art world, because hip hop is actually an art form.
Also, who's your target group? Like, what are the kids like that take classes, and what is the tuition fee monthly?
No, but yeah, the target group is anybody who is into hip hop, and we wanted to make sure that everybody, if you're poor or rich, you can enter. I think our fees are similar to what Jeremy's saying, about €4 a class, maybe 5, depending on whether you're a member or not. But when we started, our center was also in a sort of neighborhood outside of the center of the city. So it was looked at as if it was something that's for neighborhood kids, where we wanted to have a position where we would work with all arts institutions in the city. So that's why our second place is next to the central station. It's really in the center. So for us to be visible, not only to our community, but also to other people, for the city to recognize that we are there. And in the beginning, we had the same problem. Like, a lot of people didn't even know we existed, where we reach a lot of young kids, but nobody knew we were there. By simply your position, like your location, where are you? We wanted to be where the action already is, so people would see us and recognize us. So it took us 9 years to move to the center, but at least now we get much more visibility than we used to.
Could you tell us about the way you get sponsored, financed, or anything? Like, how do you finance the hip hop house?
We get most of our funding from the city, and that's very frustrating, because the government decides what they want to spend their money on, of course. And art is not at the moment a priority for the Netherlands. Since the economic crisis, they prefer to focus on other fields than art. So art is very vulnerable at the moment. And since we wanted to be in the art field, our whole sector is now denied a lot of money. So for us, we feel we have a very vulnerable structure by focusing purely on the city to support us. So at the moment, we're changing our business plan and seeing how we can make more money ourselves by selling our programs to companies, to schools, and look at more groups to make money from than our own community. So we're actually now in changing our financial plan, because we don't really want to build on one funder. And I think, yeah, in general, that's not a smart idea to build on one funding.
Okay, thank you. And Piecez, what about your project? How was it financed?
Multiple different ways. Sorry, caught me off guard. That's just...
yeah, welcome back.
No. We do a bunch of different stuff. Everything from sponsorships, which we just started doing, which is new. So we run a festival. Like 3 weeks ago, we had Talib Kweli, Razel, all these big names. We had all these people. And it's not what we do, but it attracts a lot of attention to what we do, so we can get sponsorships and major corporate... Actually, it's funny, ING Direct. It's like a Netherlands bank, but they're our biggest sponsor for the Unity Festival in Toronto, which is crazy. And we really like foster that relationship. Like, I did Gangnam Style with their CEO at their corporate event, and like all this silliness, like, and then he started breaking, which was really funny because he's like old gray-haired man, and like, I don't know, like, we try to have fun with our sponsors because we want to do it our way. We had them perform, and they perform at Dundas Square, which is a big open space in Toronto, and they had to learn it the right way, and it took like 3 months for them to learn a routine, but they threw down, and it was crazy. Like, it was dope, and a lot of them are our age. Like, they're in their 30s or in their 20s, and they just got their first job as like a banker, and they were always doing hip hop, but now they're in a bank in a full-time job. So this is our opportunity to re-engage with that. So sponsors is one. We apply for government funding, so Canadian grants, Ontario provincial grants, local grants, and even corporations they do sponsorship, but they also do foundation. So they have to give away money for tax purposes. So there's two different kinds. So if ING wanted to give us money for sponsorship, they'd do the festival. If they wanted to give us for like a social type program where it's connecting with youth, it's their corporate foundation. So, and then what's crazy is when the two team up and they have more money. So they come together and you're able to get, ask for more essentially. And then donations, we do campaigns and stuff, and revenue. We make a ton of revenue in schools, and the kids all get it for free, which is another differentiation between our programs and your programs is none of the youth pay for any of the programs. It's all funded by my like fundraising hustle.
I just learned a word actually, pitching. Pitch to pitch. What is it?
Pitch. Pitch. It's like when you're playing baseball. No, I'm just kidding. It's bad jokes. I forget what I was talking about. Oh yeah, pitch. A pitch is like just presenting yourself. I believe truly and honestly, like everything you put out into the world, you're sort of selling yourself. Every time I go into a meeting, like I'll tell my own story. I'm not gonna try to like. It's not about making people sad or this sad, but I'll tell who I am because like why am I doing this? Because like I live b-boying, you know what I mean? And when people see the passion and that energy, they're kind of like, okay, cool. Does this guy have any substance? And then they see the work, they see the results, they see this and that. So pitch is pretty much just selling yourself. And I don't think like it has to be a formal presentation or PowerPoint or whatever. It's just like interactions with people. You're always, you know, selling yourself in some way, whether you want to be a friend with someone, girlfriend, boyfriend, or ask them for money.
So you sell your project. Also, I think you were also featured on TED, right? What was it about?
I just told my own story. Shared.
Like your own story or the story of your project of charity or intertwined?
Kind of how I started Unity, but also some of the things that I gone through and like my neck injury and all this stuff and just reinventing myself as a dancer. Like I was just in the 7 to smoke, but if you notice, I don't put my head down on the floor because I have like fused vertebrae in my neck, naturally fused because I used to do like slow motion head spins. So
if you want to check it, there's a documentary about that on Vimeo. I think it's still online, right?
Yeah.
It's really touching, actually. Like, respect to that guy.
Anyways, so yeah, just I feel like I'm always sharing my story, and that's really, you're pitching yourself. Even if you work at like a corporate job, like if you want a promotion, you're like pitching yourself. You're like, hey, da, 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 right? It's like your life, you're always like, there's probably people out here who are running programs who are going to come up and like connect with everyone here on stage because, you know, I'm always down to share knowledge and like, this is examples right here of real hip hop outreach, you know what I'm saying? So in a sense, this is a pitch to you guys. If you're serious about doing, you know, hip hop and outreach, like pick our brains, you know, like we're here to share. Like I want to see more hip hop groups succeed like what these guys are doing because there's not enough of this in the world right now.
Okay, thanks. Jimmy, do you also like baseball? Do you pitch? Or how do you finance your project?
With baseball.
Yeah, with baseball. Like Crazy Legs. He's also about baseball.
Professional pitcher, no. Yeah, our financing is basically through donations. We don't get any government funding, revenue from the classes, and out of pocket. And it's been like that since the beginning. And you see the contrast from the organizations. They definitely have a lot more experience. And I asked Aruna the question, at what year did she get government funding? And she said 6 years. So that kind of gives me a kind of a timeline, or you know, just someone who's been through that, you know. And to go back to the question about the different aims or the different goals, I think our main vision is all on the same path. We all have the same vision, but like she said, she's trying to get hip hop respected in the art world, you know. And I think we're doing that too. And even though she says she's allergic to the word empowering youth or empowering yourself, she's doing that through that, you know. Even though she doesn't pitch that, that's what happens through the work, you know. Mm-hmm. But everything that we do, the Unity charity, the Hip Hop House, Break Free, it's all the same vision. We might have different pitches, like he said, different ways of looking at things, or different workloads and putting towards different goals and visions. But it's basically all the same thing. And I'm pretty sure they went in the beginning in their first 2 years the the same problems financially that we're going through, you know, and getting funded out of pocket. And
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
So it was your own investment, right? Or Moy's investment?
Yeah, yeah.
I saw some pictures on Facebook, even some pictures like before you actually were ready with the house, like the building process. How long did it take?
Yeah, he literally built the place with his bare hands. It was stripped. There was no floor. It was basically just a rundown warehouse. So he installed the floor himself with his family. Luckily, his family was in the flooring business, and built 2 rooms, 2 offices. We had to build our offices because it was just an open space. So yeah, we literally built the place with our bare hands. Created something from nothing.
So, since you don't get any government funds, as I understood it somehow, like, was it really your own investment? Did you buy the house, like on like Moy or someone?
No, well, we pay rent monthly.
Oh, it's like a rent.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I thought actually that you bought the house and then started the shit.
Yeah, we pay.
That would be dope.
No,
Tear down the walls.
That would actually
That's commitment, yeah.
Yeah, but we have to pay rent every month, so that's where the majority of our revenue goes to, and yeah.
So what was your project like? Because it also started in a, as we have seen in the video, in a garage.
Yeah, exactly. And it was the thing was when we started, the guys I was talking about before, we were teaching at a dance and music school, like a big school that was run by the city of Rotterdam. And what they noticed is when we were teaching, we brought in a different crowd, like boys in a dance school. They weren't used to seeing any boys. Black kids, colored kids. They had mostly, I think, white girls before, and they thought it was really for them very good to have a diversity in their building. So they asked us, "Do you want to teach more?" But the problem was this dance school where we were teaching was really like a ballet school with thick rubber floors, really small, and it wasn't really beneficiary for us to teach there. You know, the piano took half the space, and we wanted to have a space with a slippery floor and the turntables and a different kind of atmosphere. Also, the way they were financed, and the kids had to pay for a whole year in advance. So yeah, that didn't work for our crowd. But they really liked our work. So when they asked, would you come work more with us, we said yes, but we want our own space and we want our own strategy in communication and in the way we are financed. And because at that moment, like I said, the city was very much focused on art and on youth, we got to make our plan happen. So first we were very much supported by this bigger organization, and it allowed us to grow into a professional organization. But at the same time, I think because we didn't know, like we didn't have a business plan when we started. And that's why it took us 6 years before we had our own funding. I think we could have done it sooner if we didn't get help in the beginning, because we were kind of comfortable, you know. And even though we had to put in a lot of time and money from ourselves to make things happen, we were, I think we could have done it sooner to have like a business plan and to get funding or sponsors ourselves. So I don't think you have to wait 6 years. I think you can do it sooner.
Straight up.
Like, do you have the same thing like at the Breakfree Community Center? Do you have someone like separately who does only the financing stuff or writing applications or pitching?
Yeah, we do. We do have somebody that handles the finances specifically for that. But he also does other things as well, such as promotion. He's actually Moy's manager, so he has all these other things on top of that. So he can't really focus solely on that, you know. But her saying that, it really like the problem is that we have when it comes to that and achieving that. It really has to do with manpower or having more staff or having more expertise on that subject. You know, I'm pretty sure if we had somebody who was an expertise on getting finances and government funding, and that was their sole focus, and they didn't have to worry about anything else, then we would get that, you know. So, yeah, I think it's just a matter of just having more people to be able to put in work and not have to have everyone have this broad range of tasks and responsibilities I have to do that might, you know, not give the best results for what you're looking for, and make you, you know, reach your goal longer, and not get there soon enough.
Yeah, that's exactly where we're going through. We started with 3, like, people with a lot of general skills, like we could all do a lot of things, and now we're growing more into more people that have one skill but are really good at it, so more like specialists. And I think the more you grow, the more specialists you have. Yeah, and that's where I want to go right now, and that's not where we are. But
well, another problem you mentioned is that like you could become comfortable, because like right now we have a good amount of students, but we would be happy if we just had, you know, a couple students, and if our message reached just one person, we would be happy, you know. So that can kind of, it can be good and bad, because it shows that you're passionate about your work and that you love it, you know, but it might, you know, hinder your spreading of your
abilities,
you know, and your success, you know.
That's interesting. I love hanging out with you. You make me feel like I want to do more for the artistic community, honestly, because like we do this and we represent it in everything we do, but like just you saying about the empowerment thing, that's dope. Like I really feel that it's going to push me to excel our artistic integrity of what we're doing, because like, not that we don't, but you know what I'm saying? Like I see the other side of the spectrum, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, that was random, sorry, but honestly that it means a lot, because I think that's what we're like, a support network for each other, you know what I mean? Like just smack me in the head if we're doing something wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like straight up.
No, but I don't think there's a right or wrong. I mean, it has everything to do with how you start. We started with pure artistic goals and an artistic team, and none of us thought about money or about longevity. If we did, we would have other goals. Like now that I'm looking for sponsors and other ways to get financing, yeah, hell yeah, I will throw empowerment in that conversation, of course. But before, we were very much strict about, yeah, this is what we do. And even if it limits us to grow or to exist, you know, we're very purist. And now I think if you want to be there for the long run, you have to look, outwards more than inwards.
Yeah, because unfortunately, purity doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't keep the doors open.
Yes.
You know, everything that we do, we believe it looks good on paper, and we're like, yo, how the hell can this not have so many, how can this not be supported? How can we not have this place packed? How can we not have, you know, how can this not like reach our expectations of it, you know? Because everything looks good on paper, but unfortunately that doesn't reach out to everybody.
Yeah, one thing for us that's a blessing is just like mentors, like volunteers who just give their time, like making little committees of people who, professional fundraisers, or like I got the opportunity to speak at like, for like 2 minutes at a fundraising conference, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but 5 of the best fundraisers in Canada saw me and then started giving me advice. And then I met this one guy on sponsorship, and he's like, are you speaking at the Canadian Sponsorship Forum on the other side of Canada? I'm like, no. He's like, well, I know the guy. So then I spoke there, and then we spoke in front of all the sponsors. And it's just like, it's funny how volunteer professionals will like, it's just like this web of connections. And once you sort of jump into that world with that baseline of like where you're at, it's funny, we're getting pressures now of even further opening the doors and letting go of that. So it's like such good timing to hear this message of like artistic integrity, be smaller and more, you know, grassroots and community, because there's a lot of pressures once you sort of jump into that world to like change and do things differently. So yeah, this is a good moment for me.
Okay, to recap, there's a different, like, hip-hop houses in the Netherlands. We have the Unity Charity in Canada and Breakfree Community Center in the USA. So the basic difference is actually that you guys receive fundings as well from the government, right? You don't. And there was actually a campaign or an agenda of you, right? Like to get money. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, if you've ever heard of this website called Kickstarter.com, you use it to basically present a project or a product. A lot of people use it for like a clothing line, or artists do it to fund their CDs or whatever. And it was we were inspired by Massive Monkeys. If you ever heard of Massive Monkeys, they're a dance crew from Seattle, and they did a Kickstarter campaign, and they raised $30,000 in 30 days. And I think they don't get government funding as well. So this is basically us trying to get government-like funding through the support of people. And the way it works is, you present your project, you present an amount of days, and if you reach that amount in that amount of days, then you get it. But if you go $1 under, you don't get it. So you have to reach your goal, basically. And we're doing one right now. I think it's on its 20th day. And I think our goal is 25,000. And I believe last time I checked, we were like at 1,300. So it's not going as good as we expected. But
why 25,000? Why not 50?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just kind of a number we picked. But no,
not kind
of a number we picked, because we're not just saying, hey, give us money, give us 25,000. We did present a project. We want to renovate our facilities because we're having some problems. We have a poor foundation. We're getting cracked mirrors because of it. We're getting cracked ceiling tiles. We have a leaky roof, shifted doors because of the foundation, and we have to like tug on our door to open it in the morning, and it's almost cracking our windows. So, I mean, it's not just saying, hey, give us money. We want to renovate, and we also want to build a more intimate environment. We want to separate, like have the studio here, have our offices here, and it's not just, because if you've seen in the video, when you walk in, it's just an open space, you know, and we don't do just dancing. We do a lot of other classes like multimedia and art, so, and sometimes it happens simultaneously. So while we're teaching our class, and we teach a lot of youth, so sometimes the students that are in it, they have siblings, and they'll be running around, and it presents a distraction, you know, and there's chaos at sometimes. So
you mentioned the other project of Massive Monkeys. Are there other projects in America? Like, can you enlist?
Well, not that I know of. I believe Massive Monkeys was the only one, or at least the only successful one that got funded. And they did it basically for the same thing. They built it around soundproofing their place and securing their lease, staying open basically, and they reached it. And yeah, you don't. The way it works, you don't actually donate money. You create a pledge, because like I said, if you don't reach that goal, you don't get that money. So they do. If you're gonna donate to it, you create a pledge and you pick the amount, and you also get like incentives with it. Like, say for instance, if you pledge $50, you get a break-free T-shirt with it. And there's like levels. Like $1,000 gets you a plane ticket to our jam break-free, and like a VIP pass. So there's incentives and rewards to go along with it. And yeah, your money doesn't get taken out until you reach that goal.
Why I'm really happy to have you guys here is because of the actual constellation of you guys, because we have a starting up project, and you guys, like, you have been doing it like basically for 8 up to 10 years. So I want to ask you if your visions or aims have changed during the years, and also like I would like to start with you, since there is a change in the actual house where it is, how it looks like, and
yeah, I think the reason why we're still here is because we were open to change. If we were not open to change, we wouldn't be there anymore, because we started very much, like I said, as purists, and we didn't. If somebody would tell me 10 years ago that we would program something like dance hall, I would be laughing at you like, are you nuts? What is that, you know? That doesn't belong in a hip-hop kind of place. But Willie, he came to us, I think, 4 years ago. He was a student, and he did pretty good, and he was really involved in volunteering and helping out. And he came to us and he said, yo, you guys are old. You need to move. Because if we continue like this, hip-hop house is going to be, you know, old news. So we were like, okay, what do you mean? He said, yeah, because what the scene wants right now is not only like old school b-boying or popping. There's new things happening, and you guys are not catching up to it. And in our mission statement, it says we want to have a space with classes and activities that are relevant in the scene. That's our statement. We don't want to have people be relevant as a commercial dancer or be relevant to get into a high school of performing arts. No, we want to create like a road to the scene. And he says the scene is changing. There's way more differentiation in stand-up dance, and you guys are just sleeping. So, I want to help you. And he was not the only one. So we decided that we needed more young people, like a new generation. Like my old partners and me, we're like way far in our 30s, and we had a vision on what hip hop is, and it was pretty strict. And the way people look at hip hop now, it's very much more versatile than us. So because we were able to tell him, okay, bring in the dance hall, bring in the whacking, and that's how we became successful in the long run. But if we would have said no, I'm sure that, we would lost many new students. So that's one example of how you have to be open to change.
Piecez.
Yeah, like Aruna said earlier, we never had a plan to have an organization when we started. It was just a show that we did, like I did in my high school, and then we did it again in another school, and then we added workshops, and then we added an after-school program. And then once we had all this stuff, we're like, we can either take this further and put all this stuff around it, or like get a corporate gig and use our skills elsewhere. But I was just like, screw it. I'm gonna, whether it wins or loses, whether my family or people, whoever, support me or don't, like going 100%. And that's what we did, and like we never looked back. So the vision from day one, like there was no vision. It was just doing what we loved and showing it to people. And then we started getting more strategic, and then thinking, okay, how can we pitch this, or how can we share this with other people that can help us out too, right? So I really feel you on that. It's like that transformation of like having specialists and people who really focus on one task that they're really, really good at. That's really what's helped us to get, especially over the last year or 2 years, it's really exploded. Like this stuff didn't exist. This is the first ever, like we did a report. This is the first one we've ever done. You could pass it around. We never did this before. We just like wrote on our website, we did this many programs or whatever, but we weren't reporting it to people. And now we give this to our funders. We give this to all the people that we work with. But that happened last year, and it's still, we started in 2003, so 10 years it took us to get like something like this. Whereas, in the corporate world, or if you're like a charity or whatever, you're supposed to have this in your first year, you know what I mean? So we're just learning by doing, failing, and the vision's changed. I mean, we made our mission statement last year. We've had all these more confusing ways of describing what we do, but last year we sat down with a marketing guy. He's like, shut up. Like, just say a bunch of words to me that represent what you do, and then I'm going to write them on a paper, and I'm going to create a sentence. So we couldn't articulate what we do because there's too many ways to describe it. Yeah. And he put it into a 5-word sentence, and now it's what we do. There's 100,000 ways you can describe the same exact thing. And he helped write it and all the artists were around the table. All of the staff from day one were around the table, but he helped craft it. He made it feel like we were crafting it, but I know he crafted it. But we wrote the sentence together. Like he did it, and we've been really lucky to have people to help us sort of shift and shape our vision the way we wanted it to be.
Jeremy, I wanted to ask you, like, how much do money issues dictate what you do at your center? Because I saw also that there is a project, to get some free money or money for kids who don't have the money for that. Like, what was it about?
Oh, well, it's a sponsorship for kids that don't have money to take the classes. It's basically from a generous dad who takes his little boy to do the classes. He sponsors a kid every month, or actually 3 or 4 every month, and we do it through an application process online. Like, you can apply, and we select every month 3 or 4 kids who otherwise wouldn't have the money to take the class to get sponsored and take the class, courtesy of the dad that takes the student there.
So you could do that with corporate world too.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
I think that's another different point, is that, well, it was said before, but that is happening on their end and the corporate end, but ours is happening in a grassroots way with an actual parent of a student that does it,
Still.
are you connected somehow with other projects like BBoyspot in Florida or somehow? And how? Because I checked also on Facebook projects, and I saw that you are really active on Facebook, right? And also I think it's somehow related to the Kickstarter program.
Yeah, yeah.
And in because I think it was even more active than the hip hop house, as if I am allowed to say this. How do you use social networks or stuff like this to get your message across, or what do you think could be helpful for that?
Well, it depends on your who you're talking to, and also in this objective, my organization is in a change. At first, we were just thinking we had to talk to our community, but now we realize we have to talk to our community, we have to talk to our funders, we have to talk to everybody that makes us possible, and that is different people with a different way of communication. For instance, the city that pays most of our rent is not on Facebook. So if I want to make sure that they're informed about what we do, I have to write letters, or I have to make like a newsletter more official, or a book like his. But if I write a letter to my students, they're not going to look at it. So communication has also different groups, target groups, and different forms. So, but in order to reach out to our kids, we use social media a lot.
Did you guys live up with your aims, with your ideas, with your ideals, or I don't know, any disillusionments, like over the years?
Did we live up to it?
What do you mean?
Yeah, did you live up towards your aims? Is there anything that you haven't reached so far, or tell us about some anecdotal success stories?
Well, when we first started, our goal was, we still have the same goal. We want to just, provide an environment for people to come and learn and educate, and also build, and a community center basically, and I think our target audience has changed, because in the beginning we really were connected, me especially, with all the B-boys in Houston, because I'm around the same age as most of the B-boys in Houston, so I have a lot of close relationship with some of them. So we wanted to build with them specifically, with the B-boys that were already in Houston. So we wanted to provide, just a dope spot for them to learn, to build, to come when there's jams, But unfortunately, our expectations weren't met with the support from these B-boys, So our goal kind of shifted to teaching more youth. We always had kids coming in and learning, but especially in the last year, we really focused entirely on teaching youth and building a strong youth group, because unfortunately the support from the local B-boys wasn't met. Our expectations weren't met, and we had to change and shift what we do to focus more on the people who were giving the support, which was the parents and the kids.
Piecez, do you have any disillusions or some negative developments?
Yeah, I mean, we're always learning and falling on our face all the time. I feel like every time I do something, I screw it up really bad the first time. So, but in terms of what I would want to achieve or something more is just to keep it going. If I could do this until I'm 70 and then maybe die when I'm 100. But if I can keep this going and it lives past me, in simpler words, that's all that matters. So if there's one thing I'm going to focus on, it's over the next 20, 30 years, building something that can live past me with the same ideals and the same vision that I had since day one, because it's friggin' hard. You're competing with these major established organizations. So that's really my goal, because I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Hope I don't.